4 critical points. First of all, I want to know what the critical points are, right? So these points are going to be our x-intercepts, our y-intercept, and our vertex. So we're going to have 2 of these, right? Which is clearly observed or displayed with these 2 parenthesized expressions here. We have 1 y-intercept, and we have 1 vertex. Okay, so these are coordinates. First of all, our x-intercept is going to be, we're going to set this equal to 0, set both of these equal to 0, and then solve for x. Subtract 5 from both sides. Right, negative 5. Add 2 to both sides. So, remember, our x-intercept is the x value when y is 0. So there it is, negative 5, 0. Right? But if you want the coordinate, it's going to be negative 5, 0 or 2, 0. So this is our actual intercept, the actual x value of the intercept. But if you want the actual coordinate, it's going to be negative 5, 0 or 2, 0. Right? Now our y-intercept. Well, what is a y-intercept? Let's think about the definition. Right? We'll solve that in 2 seconds. So let's solve the y-intercept. So the y-intercept or intercepts, right? Let's just say there's 1, is the y value, right, when x equals 0. This is why it's helpful to know the formulas, right? So to actually know the formulas and or to know the definition, the written sentence definition. That the y-intercept is the y value when x equals 0. All right, so let's make x 0. Like, we'll literally go back to our expression, and we're going to say y equals 3 times 0 plus 5 times 0 minus 2. Right? 3 times 5 times negative 2, negative 30. Right? It's negative 30. So it's 0, negative 30. Right? Our x is 0. 5, negative 2, negative 30. Now our vertex, a little bit trickier, but not too tough. Okay. The vertex. Well, if we have our x-intercepts, right, then we know it's positive, right? So we know it's a parabola, right? Because you have 2 x's. When you multiply them, they're going to get squared. So you have sort of a parabola. And, right, this is going to be, we're going to start to label negative 5, 0, 2, 0. Excuse me, right here. Right, so this is going to be, 0, negative 30. Right, way down there. So the vertex is right around here, right? So the first thing you want to do is solve for the x value of the vertex. Now, we can solve, once you solve the s value, we can get the y value. Now, we already know that the vertex is negative b over 2a, right, which we're going to go over here. But depending on the class that you're taking, you might not have learned that yet. So maybe if you show that work, maybe your teacher doesn't mark it right, or maybe your teacher isn't happy with that, even though it's still right and you still know what you're doing. But some teachers are very defensive over the way they teach and exactly what you're learning in that semester or that class, right? So they want you to show the steps and the route that they taught you, right? So, but we can go over both ways. Here we go. The x value of the vertex. Well, you check this out. You want to find the midpoint between -5 and 2. So the distance between -5 and 0 is 5. The distance between 0 and 2 is 2. Right? So it's going to be 5 plus 2 is 7, right? That distance is 7. And then you divide that by 2, right? Because it's halfway. So it's going to be 3.5. So, but is it going to be, it's going to be 3.5 from -5. Or let's say it's from here. It could be from either side. So we're going to move 3.5 to this side. That's -1.5. Or we move 3.5 to this side. It's -1.5, right? So it's going to be -1.5 is going to be our x value. The key is to try to remember, what am I solving for, right? What exactly am I solving for? What exactly am I looking for? And just use your logic and your common sense and your experience, for example, to say that, okay, well, I need to find the midpoint. How do I find the midpoint? Well, I find the distance between this and this, and then cut it in half, right? So the distance between this and this is obviously 5. So algebraically, yeah, it's going to be -5, the absolute value of -5 plus, right? The absolute plus 2 equals, et cetera. But which equals 7, right? And then divide that by 2. But you can also draw it out so you can see it. You can really see it, and you can sort of burn this in your brain. Also, you can show your work, right? So then here you can see it. You're like, okay, well, this is, right, -1.5. Right, that's a dot, and then that's a comma. So you're like, okay, well, how do I find the y value of the vertex? Because it's going to be right here, the vertex, right, that little midpoint of where the parabola turns, or where the shape turns. And if you said, well, let's plug in -1.5 into x and solve for y, you'd be correct. So again, we're going to go back to our formula, and every time we see x, we put in -1.5. -1.5 plus 5 is 3.5. You really want to practice. So if you can use IXL or watch, these videos, whatever helps you. -3.5. -1.5 minus 2 is -1.5 plus -2, which is -3.5. -3. So this is a tricky one. It's a big number, but let's multiply it anyways. So we'll do 3.5, right, times 3. 15, 1, 10.5. Right? Check box, check those off. Now we'll check off -3.5 times, right, 5, 2. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. 5, 0. Don't worry about the signs right now. We're just going to do just the digits. Right now we're going to come over here. 5 plus 0 is, we're going to add these, right? 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 5 is 7. 5 plus 1 is 6. And 3. Right, these two decimal points start over here. 36.75, which sounds reasonable, right? Because what's 10 times 3? About 30. Right, and then what's a positive times negative? Negative. So you know that that's correct. Right, -36.75. And again, you could use -b over 2a, but you would multiply these. So if you multiply these through, let's actually come up here. If you want to try -b over 2a, that is the vertex of a parabola. Okay, so we're going to do x squared We're going to do FOIL, right? Plus 3x. Because it's going to be x squared minus 2x plus 5x, which is plus 3x, and then minus 10. Then multiply all these by 3. So you have 3x squared. Right? 3x times 3 is 9x. Minus 30. So what's the negative b? So, well, a is 3. B is 9. C is negative 30. So it's negative 9 over 6. 2 times 3 is 6, which is negative 3 over 2, which is negative 1.5, which is exactly what we got earlier, right? That's the x value of the vertex. And then you find the y value by plugging in that value into x, right? And then you solve for y. So both answers, or both routes will get you there, right? So the vertex, right, the x value, right, the x value is negative b over 2a. And where do you get that negative b over 2a? Well, you get it from, we like to call this standard form. So standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c, the standard form of a parabola, right? So the vertex of a parabola is negative b over 2a. So it's whatever this value is with the sign flipped, right? So it's negative 9, right? Because 9 flipped. And then 2 times whatever this number is. So it's going to be over 2 times 3, right? That's how we got negative 9 over 6. All right, hopefully this was helpful, and thank you very much.